So what I'm doing is I'm trying to learn Greek in 1 year. As of this recording, it is the 7th. So what happened on the 1st? It's New Year's, got coronavirus, got kind of blindsided. And so I've just been doing my work for the app, but that's all Russian. I'm on the Russian phase right now. I'll add Greek to the app whenever I have more speakers. But why I would like to learn Greek is I would like to live in Greece. I would like to be a priest of Artemis. It's a historical precedent called Daduxe, which I would like to bring back to my fellow believers. And so for that, to live in Greece, I would like to know Greek. But I've never successfully learned a language before. I've always been interested in languages ever since I was 12 years old. I was really into Vikings, so I tried to learn Norwegian. It didn't work out. I tried to learn Latin because I wanted to grow up and be a Roman history professor. I figured it out, couldn't crack it. But and then I tried Japanese and Chinese as I started to know more and more about grammars, and thought I could crack it. But it is just a thing. I feel like a lot of American people, especially American people with thick accents, can relate to. Is I have a really hard time pronouncing other languages words. And so I know French. I know a lot of French words. Je sais le beaucoup de mots. But if I said that to a French person, he wouldn't know what I was saying. And it's been like that for every language. I like Japanese because it's easy to pronounce. At least that's all it had. It was easy to pronounce. The alphabet, hiragana, katakana, very straightforward. But that's when the writing in the different forms, it just kills you. It's like they were like, all right, you can learn the Chinese characters now, and we'll just call it kanji. And it also, every character has a different meaning because it's kanji and Chinese characters. My Chinese friends told me to just learn Chinese, so I tried to learn Chinese. And talk about a language you can't pronounce, I can't pronounce it. And so I'm hoping with Greek, the problem will be solved because it's a sound set very similar to English. And I'm going to have a bunch of tools over the 12 months to assist me in what I'm doing. I'm going to try to do a review of each one. But what I'm going to make is my basis is Duolingo. And I'm going to do that because I don't like Duolingo, and I want to show you why I don't like Duolingo. My assumptions with using Duolingo in the past is two problems. Yes, it does use spaced repetition, but it uses spaced repetition in an unintentional way, which makes it not very effective for memorizing. You don't see the words in new situations. Whenever you miss a word, it just shows you in the same sentence at the end of the unit. And a lot of the times these phrases are just thrown together. Like, I'll put in examples as I get through the year, but you'll see what I mean. Is sometimes it's like talking about like a pink elephant. It's like, why in the world would I ever be saying this to someone? And the last thing I really don't like about Duolingo is just the same voice, the same accent. They just use a Google Translate API. You'll hear it in the Greek version. All that is just the Google Translate Greek lady over and over again for every single sentence, the whole unit. And I don't feel like that's very effective to learn a language. Everybody goes over, oh, try Duolingo, and it turns you off learning the language because even though it's free, just seeing some words in front of your face, what sounds they will make, it will help. It won't help you learn a language. But over the course of the year, the other things I'm gonna try, I got some on the calendar. I'm gonna try to improve my French, but I don't know if I'll have the time to make a video about that. But there is this thing called Lingoda. They don't have it for Greek, but they have it for French, where it's like I guess it's like a Socratic classroom where people talk to each other, and it's like small class sizes. They do it for French, and so I'm gonna try it out. But the ones I'm gonna try for Greek, I'm most excited about are Babbel and Pimsleur, which have a more audio-based method. And so, yeah, that's just really what I need to work on. And what I failed in every language I tried is the spontaneity and the sound. And so I'm gonna try to Duolingo lesson right here. I haven't seen the new setup, but this is the new setup. Maybe it would be better, but I think they still do the thing where all they do is just put what you missed on the end. But here, let's go ahead and try a lesson. I've done it before, but yeah, so far this year I haven't really done it, so I'll forget options there. That's another thing. It makes it like a game. When you really got to pull the words out of your brain, it's like you actually know them. What I learned whenever I was taking a certification course in teaching English as a second language, there's a classified levels to language learning, and there's memorization, and then there's application. And so memorization and recognition work in a classroom setting. It means you can talk in class. It means you can talk with aides. But application means you can actually go out on the street and like go for a taxi ride or buy something at the market without having to use translate on your phone or nothing. And so I think do. So I fell off again on the whole. I'm gonna learn Greek in a year. It is now the 14th. I haven't done another Duolingo lesson since the first one, but I'm about to, let's say on the 15th, 2024, when I know Greek, when I've done 100 lessons. I'm really after the badge. I think you get some kind of cool looking badge whenever you do 365 straight days on Duolingo. It looks cool. I think that's the only plus to Duolingo. I still definitely don't think it's a wise way to learn a language. But I think for the first month, because I'm trying to catch up on what I'm doing with the app, and I'm not at the Greek part yet. So I'm just gonna do Duolingo for the first month. Next month, I'm thinking I'll try Babbel, but I'm not just using the apps. I'm also gonna use this.
Ain't got a spinner, I've been gripping on the grain. Wide body frame, got me hogging both lanes. Ain't still wet, fuck around and drip a stain. Got the screens falling down in my car like rain. Got the outside black, inside champagne.
And so I already learned the Greek alphabet a long time ago. It's a little bit like the Cyrillic alphabet, but I learned the Greek alphabet first. I've been studying Greek for 2 years. I like to watch Easy Greek. I like to do cards on Anki Droid. Yeah, but Anki Droid, it does space repetition too, but uh it's still not as good. You have to find the right card set is what I'm trying to say. Like if you got like a gigantic card set like I had, you'll learn some words and you won't see them again for months. And I was doing Enki Droid every day, so I know Greek words. I don't necessarily know how to string them together. I've done a few lessons on the what's that thing? What's that podcast way to learn a language? And they got a Greek and Russian one. Let me go look that up. I'll be back. Trying to figure out this whole videoing thing, trying to get my video editing skills up. So I'm sorry if that is just like a blaze of light. I'm not quite sure how to set the aperture on my computer webcam yet. But so some things I like about Greek culture, some ways I'm gonna learn some Greek is I like this one show called Terry Nesu Ise Toterimu. So put on the clip. I hope it plays, but my microphone, even though I'm recording just the audio from my computer, likes to pick up the sounds of the underworld or something. So I hope I can play that with some sound. So some other things I want to show you. So that podcast that is super good is called Complete Greek, and it is fully available for your convenience on SoundCloud. We'll pull that up. So I'm screen recording on my other computer because this computer, it picks up the sounds of the underworld whenever I screen record it, and nobody likes that. So I'm trying to find a workaround, trying to figure out something that works. I know how to go on my game settings and turn off the audio, turn off the microphone whenever I'm screen recording, but it doesn't work. It doesn't like to work. I restarted, tried it again, and it still didn't work. But this is complete great. They got like 40 lessons. I used to do this whenever I worked out, but there's also the Greek podcast on it's got a lot more than 40. Oh man, it's got a lot more than 40 lessons. It's the same thing with the Greek podcast 101 is they're still talking in English a lot of the time. And it's just, I don't care for that. I would like to go into the immersion setting and just have just like as minimal English as there could be. Like what I'm saying is they'll say something in Greek, they'll tell you a Greek word, they'll tell you a Greek concept, and they will explain it for like 2 minutes in English. You couldn't work a little bit more Greek in there because the language that I already know is English. You could have taught me a little bit more Greek in those 2 minutes. And so I do it while I was working out. I guess I can still do it while I'm working out. Let's see how it goes this time. What I'm also going to do to chart my progress is get an italki tutor. And so there's a bunch of competitive higher language tutor websites out there right now. I still think, why not go with italki? It's got like the biggest reach. It's got some very decent prices. And you can learn any language on there. It's like, I was typing in Greek and it came up with Greenlandic. I should have figured, but I didn't know Greenland had its own language. And also, I saw, the last time I looked through here, I saw Katerina on here from Learn Greek with Katerina. It's fine. And I was trying to book a lesson with her, but I was like, I'm gonna wait a second whenever I'm actually in the heat of it, actually, learning it. And I don't see her on here anymore, but so I'm gonna get back into my Duolingo. I'm just doing Duolingo for this month, 2 lessons a day. And then I'm gonna try to work my way through word by word that first story of the Tiny Greek stories about Pompeii. And then we went into Pimsleur or Babel for my second month. And we'll get an italki tutor my second month. And I hope to be, I know I'm not going to be that good, when this video hits. I know I'm going to be like about as good at speaking Greek as I've ever been. But I hope that second month is a real leap in the advancement section. So we'll see then.